says, that Relli. And I'm like, I'm sitting in the back of the chair, and I kind of get up, and I'm like, and then Barbie like stops me. He's like, and then I'm listening, and then he's like, oh yeah, I don't with.
The 36-year-old, who faces 24 years in prison if convicted, has pleaded not guilty, and today he rejected a plea deal offer of 180 days in jail, saying, quote, I respectfully decline.
Action began today in LA. ASAP Rocky turned down a final prosecution plea offer of 180 days in jail if he would plead guilty to one of his 2 felony counts.
The jury trial is comprised of 7 women and 5 men. Now, Mayor's rejected a plea deal offer and faces up to 24 years in prison.
Could Rihanna's world be falling apart as ASAP Rocky faces 24 years in prison? Or is this trial hiding something much bigger? Courtroom chaos, shocking twists, and accusations of jealousy and betrayal. This trial has it all, and we're breaking down everything you need to know. ASAP Rocky, the rap star and Rihanna's partner, is currently on trial for allegedly firing a semi-automatic firearm during a confrontation with a former friend. The stakes are sky high. If found guilty, he could be sentenced to 24 years behind bars. But what's making headlines isn't just the charges. Rocky rejected a plea deal that many believed could have saved his career. And now, the courtroom drama is exposing shocking accusations of jealousy, betrayal, and even racial bias. Is this trial as open and shut as the prosecution wants it to be? Or is something more sinister going on? Let's dive in and uncover the details behind the 2021 altercation that set this legal battle in motion.
How you doing this morning? How you feeling about the first day?
Thank you. Topic going into the case. It's the room. Planning on taking a stand at all?
The trial revolves around a 2021 altercation between ASAP Rocky and ASAP Relli, a member of the ASAP mob crew. The feud reportedly began after Relli accused Rocky of switching up on their group and failing to cover funeral expenses for a fallen crew member. Relli confronted Rocky near the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and things quickly escalated into a physical confrontation. CCTV footage shows part of the altercation, with Rocky allegedly pulling out a firearm before tucking it back into his waistband. But here's the critical part. There's no footage of any shots being fired. This missing footage is key to Rocky's defense, as it raises doubts about whether the alleged shots were ever fired. According to Relli, after the confrontation, Rocky fired shots that grazed his knuckles. However, Relli didn't immediately report the incident to the police. Days later, he sought medical attention for his injuries and filed a police report. When investigators searched the scene, they found no shell casings or evidence of gunfire. But, suspiciously, Relli later returned to the scene and discovered shell casings, which he handed over to the police. Rocky's defense team is pouncing on this inconsistency, calling it highly suspicious. If the police couldn't find any shell casings, how did Relli conveniently stumble upon them days later? Defense attorney Joe Tacopina asked the jury. Is Relli seeking justice, or is this case driven by jealousy and a calculated attempt to destroy Rocky's career? Rocky's legal team is framing the entire case as a setup fueled by jealousy and financial motives. In his opening statement, Tacopina told the jury, "This case is about one man's jealousy and a clear attempt at extortion. Period."
Ladies and gentlemen, this case is about one man's jealousy, lies, and greed. And that man is not Rocky. And that man is Terrell Efron, or you've heard the name Relli.
Online, fans are echoing this sentiment, accusing Relli of being a snitch who betrayed the tight-knit ASAP mob. They argue that instead of settling the matter privately, Relli chose to involve the police and potentially destroy Rocky's career. The stakes for Rocky couldn't be higher. If convicted, he faces 24 years in prison, and his defense is relying on the argument that Relli's accusations are motivated by money, not truth. But things get even messier when you consider the prosecution's surprise ballistics report and the controversial plea deal Rocky rejected. Before the trial even began, prosecutors offered Rocky what some are calling a sweetheart deal. The plea bargain would have required him to plead guilty to one count of felony assault, serve 180 days in jail, and complete probation, community service, and anger management classes. But Rocky rejected it.
ASAP, you a little nervous about the trial? How are you feeling about the jury selection today?
Our cameras caught ASAP Rocky this morning headed into and leaving an LA court as jury selection began in his felony trial. The 36-year-old, who faces 24 years in prison if convicted, has pleaded not guilty, and today he rejected a plea deal offer of 180 days in jail, saying, quote, "I respectfully decline."
Why? According to sources close to him, the plea deal would have been a career-ending move. He risked losing major endorsement deals with brands like Gucci and Puma, missing out on events like the Met Gala, and possibly being unable to tour for years. The plea deal, 180 days or career suicide. His decision has divided fans. Some say he should have taken the deal and avoided the risk of spending decades in prison. Others believe Rocky did the right thing by fighting for his innocence. While Rocky faces a tough legal decision, it's not just him under pressure. Rihanna is feeling the heat too. Rihanna has been by Rocky's side throughout the trial, but insiders say the pressure is taking its toll. Back in 2022, when she was heavily pregnant, police ambushed the couple at the airport and arrested Rocky as they returned from a vacation in Barbados. Sources say the incident triggered severe anxiety for Rihanna, and she feared the stress could cause early labor. Now, with 2 children to care for, her multi-million-dollar business empire, and the ongoing trial, Rihanna is reportedly struggling with sleepless nights and emotional distress. But despite it all, she's standing by Rocky's side and attending court hearings to offer support. One of the most talked about aspects of the trial is the jury selection. Out of the 12 jurors, 7 women and 5 men, none are black, despite the trial taking place in Los Angeles, a city with a significant black population. Civil rights leader Reverend Al Sharpton has publicly criticized the jury selection, calling it unfair and unrepresentative of a case involving 2 black men. ASAP Rocky deserves to be judged fairly by his peers, Sharpton said, and it's absolutely ridiculous that no black jurors were selected. With doubts about fairness surrounding the jury, the defense is banking on one critical argument. Was the gun even real? Rocky's defense team claims that the weapon used during the altercation wasn't a real firearm, but a prop starter gun designed to make noise and scare off attackers. Tacopina explained to the jury that Rocky had been the victim of a prior attack and carried the prop gun for protection. But the prosecution argues otherwise. They claim that Rocky used a 9mm semi-automatic weapon and even presented a photo of what they believe to be the firearm. However, when police raided Rocky's home, they found registered firearms, but not the semi-automatic pistol in question. To complicate matters further, the prosecution blindsided Rocky's defense team with a surprise ballistics report. The judge's decision to give them only 1 day to review the report left Rocky's team scrambling to find an expert who could challenge the findings. With missing evidence, conflicting witness statements, and public criticism of the trial's fairness, Rocky's defense team believes he could walk free. But with the prosecution blindsiding them with a ballistics report and comparisons to Tory Lanez's conviction-haunting fans, the outcome is uncertain. And what about Rihanna? If Rocky is found guilty, she could be left raising their children alone while he serves a decades-long sentence. What do you think? Is Rocky being set up, or did he make a mistake rejecting the plea deal? Let us know in the comments.